Today I'm reading from Ephesians 4:3. Making every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. I want to draw attention to the fact that having to make every effort, Paul telling us that we need to make every effort, do everything in our power to ensure to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace means is not what is natural, what is native to us. It's not what we do instinctively. What happens is discord. What happens is people not being united. That is why the Bible says, how precious is it for brothers to dwell together in unity. It is precious because it's not something that is common. If it's common, then it's not. If it's common, then it's like, okay, just normal thing. But this is not normal thing, and that is why the Bible is charging us that we should make every effort. We should go above and beyond, to keep the unity of the Spirit and the bond of peace. And Paul here is talking about our life among believers specifically. And so that is something that I want you to put in your mind, that it takes some effort. It takes not following along with your natural instinct. It takes leaving your rights, leaving your demands, and focusing on the unity of the Spirit, unity, cooperation, banding together with other believers, focusing on the unity, focusing on the bond of peace. Now, the reason this is important because there's strong temptation in the opposite direction. That's why Jesus Christ prayed that they may be one as we are one. There is no need to pray for it if it comes naturally. It takes the work of God. It takes a lot of effort to be able to do that. It takes a lot of deliberateness. The instinctive thing, let's just do whatever we feel, will lead to not unity of the Spirit and not bond of peace. But there has to be some deliberateness. You have to think of it. You have to prioritize it. It has to be what you want. It has to be what you desire. You have to be convinced of the need for it. And you have to go in the direction of it. So again, I said, Jesus Christ prayed, let them be one as we are one. That is amazing prayer, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about billions of people on the earth, and we're supposed to be one as He is one with the Father. That is Jesus Christ's prayer. That is Jesus Christ's desire. That is Jesus Christ's desire. And Paul is echoing that here. He said, making every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Making every effort. That is so important. That is so critical. And what comes to my mind specifically is that when we are even addressing issues in the church that are wrong and all that, we need to do it in a way where we are still being careful to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. And what comes to my mind and how I think I should do that personally is that not mentioning names, not mentioning them, not throwing names and mentioning and calling out people by name. And even as we're addressing errors, not calling out people by name. And you might say to yourself, like I used to say to myself, oh, Paul called out people by name. He mentioned this one, Emmaus, he mentioned that one. But recently I discovered that I am not Paul. Because Jesus Christ called some people fox. That doesn't give me the license to call some people fox. I'm talking about, he said Herod, fox, he mentioned a name and he called him a fox. That doesn't give me the license to do that. Because Jesus Christ said it, Jesus Christ went in that direction. Paul said it, Paul went in that direction, but that doesn't mean I should do it. That doesn't mean I should do it at all. Jesus Christ was serious. Said, don't, if you call your brother fool, you are in danger of hell. Paul was serious when he said, Paul was serious when he was talking about the approach of ministers, and he said a minister should be gentle, not quarrelsome. Even though you see in his letter, you see that he's saying, I've handed somebody over to the devil. He mentioned some people's name, and he said some harsh words about them. That doesn't mean you should do that. So I'm just giving you my 2 cents. Even as we contend earnestly for the faith that was once and for all delivered to the saints, we need to make the effort to still in whatever we're doing, endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Did you hear that? See you tomorrow.